Yeah, so I have to ask that.
I'm glad you did ask that.
All over the world to gather together to tackle challenging relationship issues. And now here is your host, Shannon and Kinte.
Hello, and welcome to an all-new episode of Men and Women Talk, the Mars Venus Show. I am one of your hosts, Kinte, all the way live from Los Angeles, California, and I am so happy to be here. Episode of Men and Women. Sorry about that. I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. We have yet again another wonderful episode for you. All right, and let me introduce my co-host. It's the one and only Shannon. How you doing, Shannon?
Hi, good evening. I am well, all the way from Key West, Florida. How are you and how was your weekend?
My weekend has been pretty cool. I can't complain. I mean, I guess I could complain, but who cares, right?
I care. Tell me all about it.
Oh, okay. It was great. I celebrated Easter, Resurrection Sunday. I didn't go to church, but I did celebrate it. And I just had a good time. So I'm glad that I'm here with you, great people, and I'm looking forward to the show tonight.
Yes, me too.
All right. You too. All right. So let's introduce the panel. And of course, we're going to start off with ladies first. This young lady, I believe it's her first time being on the program, all the way from New York. It is the one and only Marisol. How you doing, Marisol?
I am good. I'm not going to say "and yourself" as we already heard, but I'm good.
All right. And for those who may have never had an opportunity or the pleasure to meet you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am from New York. I have, 3 children. I'm an educator, and this is one of my first opportunities doing this. And so I thank you.
All right. I thank you, too. I kind of got to know you just a little bit over the last couple of weeks, and you seem like a really cool person. So I'm looking forward to having you on the program tonight.
Thank you.
All right.
Looking forward to being here.
So we were supposed to have a couple of other ladies on the show. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it. So it's going to be weighted heavily in the favor of the gentleman. So let me start off. I'm going to go left to right. I think we have a little echo. I don't know where it's coming from, but we're going to start off with starting on all the way to our left. We have our returning champion, Alan. How you doing, Alan?
Doing good.
Mm-hmm. And I think that it's coming from you, Marisol.
I am so sorry then. I don't know how to. Okay, I'll try to fix it.
Do you have headphones?
I do.
All right. So you want to mute and just get your headphones on if you can. All right. So Alan, tell us about your Instagram presence.
Well, I have 2 Instagram accounts, but mainly I do have one called Newman's Hot Takes. It's devoted towards motivation. And
Go
can you hear me?
I'm sorry. That was my fault.
Okay. It's dedicated towards motivation and also expressing the love for Black women, which is the key part of that Instagram.
All right. Well, tell us how we can get to it, and we'll say it at the end of the show as well.
Okay. You can actually go to Newman_Hot Takes on Instagram, and actually the same thing on Facebook. You go to Facebook and look up Newman_Hot Takes as well.
All right. Also joining us is this guy's a podcaster as well. He's become a regular now on the show. It's the one and only Andre. Dre, how you doing, man?
I'm good, everybody. Good evening. Happy to be here. Happy to join in on the conversation today, too.
All right. And how can we tell us about your vlog?
Togetherness podcast that I host with a young lady named Albany L. Riggins, marriage coach based out of, I think it's Alabama.
Yes.
Yeah, Alabama. And we do a podcast live every Thursday, 8 p.m. on Get Vocal. It also is seen on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. I am an author. I am a teacher by day and a marriage coach and counselor by night. I wear 2 capes and I just love helping people. My lot in life is just to be a blessing to somebody. And so I'm excited about this conversation.
All right. And this next brother, I believe this is his first time on the show. But we've gotten to know him very well. And actually Dre got to know him a little bit better than us all. Wait, that sounds kind of creepy.
Really strange.
Yeah.
Really strange.
I'll let you guys explain that one. But it's the one and only Dedrick. How you doing, Dedrick?
Pretty good. No complaints on this side. Feeling pretty A1. Glad to be here.
Yes. And you and Dre saw each other in person. You ran into each other.
Yes. Star Bar in Raleigh, out here in North Carolina. He wasn't expecting me to be there, and I wasn't expecting him to be there.
That's what's up.
It kind of worked out like that.
All right. And just so people know that if you are watching this live, either on Periscope, watching us live on Get Vocal or YouTube, that the chat is on the right side in YouTube, and it's where it says "Say Something." Let us know that you are here. I see, of course, your brother Anthony Free,
bro.
And I also see Mac Black as well in the chat, as well as others. Please let your voices be known. And I see Carrie in Get Vocal. All right. So if I will relay any questions that we would have from the panel. All right. So tonight we are doing a segment that we do about once a year, and it's our moral dilemma segment. And essentially what we do is we come up with situations, or we get it from some source. And I've previously recorded it, and I'm going to play it, let people see it, because I have the text as well. And we're going to talk about these different topics. We have quite a bit of topics that we're going to do, and I want to get everybody's take. Now, the way that we usually do it is we'll start off with someone, we'll get the first crack, and then we'll let the panel do it. So, what we'll do is, since Dedrick is his first time on the show, we'll let him get first crack at the first topic. So does this sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm with it. Let's go.
All right. So here we go. All right. So the first one. Bada boom, bada bing. All right. And if you can't hear, please let me know. All right, here we go. Is it okay to give a guy my blessing to date my soon-to-be ex-wife? Hello, my name is Daniel. A little context for the situation. My wife and I have been separated for over 3 weeks now. We still live together and are headed for divorce. My wife has been hanging out with her single friends once, twice a month for a while now. She has a guy friend who has given her attention. Attention I don't really give her anymore. Before I continue, be aware this has nothing to do with why we are getting divorced. But since we've been separated, she's been talking to him more. She admitted to me she has feelings for him. I personally know the guy. He's a great guy and respectful. May not seem that way because of the attention he's given her knowing that she's married, in the sense that he hasn't made unwanted advances or gestures. He knows she's married to me and didn't want to be the cause of our divorce. My question is, would it seem inappropriate or uncomfortable to reach out to him behind my wife's back and basically give him my blessings to date her? Or would that make things worse, especially if he told my wife I reached out to him, or that it would be none of my business? It's this point I know I shouldn't be involved in her love life, but I still do care about her. All right.
I'm glad that's not my question.
Man, all right. So, so wait, that's a bomb. That's exactly what that is. So he's asking, is it all right to talk to the love interest, I'll call him, behind his wife's back? That's what the question is. Is it okay?
Yeah, he's saying that, he feels like that guy is a little concerned about stepping on his toes, and he wants to just let him know, hey man, have at it. So he's trying to be a quote unquote good guy and let that happen.
Well, that first of all, that's going to be difficult because he stated he still cares for his ex-wife or soon to be ex-wife. But I mean, if he knows for a fact he's a good dude, and he genuinely wants to see her happy, I wouldn't say go behind his wife's back, but I'd say it's okay to let her know it's if you have good intentions with it, then go ahead, step in.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
All right. Anybody else want to jump in? I see.
Well, I'll tell you what I think.
Oh, okay. Please
tell us.
I think as the bigger person, because they're not getting divorced because of this, I think it's totally okay for him to be like, hey, listen, I'm good. The guy wanting to step in and be like, hey, I know she's your ex. You guys are getting divorced soon, but I'm dating her. I think that's actually big of him. At the end of the day, maybe they have, I don't know if I didn't hear if they had children together or whatever, but if they do, then that's something that, the guy's going to take into consideration. This guy might eventually be around the children. It's good to know who's around them.
Okay. All right. What about you, Dre? I saw you kind of made a face.
They've been separated for 3 weeks, and now he wants to give. It's not even like the other guy's reaching out. He wants to give this guy who's dating his wife, that they're still living together with, his blessing. That's messy. And they only been separated for 3 weeks. Now I understand his heart, and I commend him for that. Especially if he really cares for her, he doesn't want it to be. He doesn't want it to get hot, so he wants to just say, "Listen, I know you're dating my wife," which I think is weird coming out of my mouth. Like, yeah, you're dating my wife, and I'm cool with it. Just let you know we are getting divorced, and we're living together. Our kids stay in the next room, and we have dinner together and all that stuff. But I'm cool with you dating my wife, and so just know that. I think if I was the other guy, it'd be weird for me. Right. Like, hey, I call her. Hey, I just got this weird phone call from your husband saying that it's okay to date you. I just it seems now again, like, I commend him for being mature enough to say we're getting a divorce, and if she wants to move on, she's more than welcome to. But it's hard to I think his best bet is not to get involved at all and let that relationship blossom the way it's meant to be. And when it's time, they'll meet, not to force it, because you could really risk the other guy getting weirded out by a girl that he's seeing, and her husband, even though they're getting a divorce, is taking the initiative to reach out. But I would wait. And if it's only been 3 weeks, I wouldn't. If I was the other guy, I would never put myself in that situation.
Amen.
Because you don't know what can happen.
We have in the Get Vocal chat room, Carrie's in there, and she wants to know, I'm curious if the guy is gay. I don't see a straight guy being confused about this. He was vague about the reason for the breakup and insisting the other guy wasn't the reason. So, I don't know about him being gay, but that is definitely bizarre. That is kind of bizarre. He's a better guy than me, because my thing would be, whatever she wants to do, she should, that's on her. Like, we're getting a divorce. I'm going my way. She going her way. So whatever her relationship situation is, that's something she got to work out. I wouldn't get involved one way or the other. So,
right.
So what about you, Alan? Do you have any thoughts on this?
Man, me personally, I'm not, like you guys have been saying, I'm not trying to get involved with that. But like Andre said, 3 weeks in and you guys are talking, I mean, that's a little kind of weird if I'm going to sit there and be like, hey, I know you're interested in my wife, and I feel like you guys should just get together. I think you guys will work out real well. For me, I think that would be a little odd for me, just for the fact that, yeah, I do understand that they're going through a divorce, but during that divorce process, you don't know what could possibly happen. Right now, she might not be feeling her husband and he might not be feeling her, but then as they're going through the divorce process, something happens, they rekindle that fire, whatever that they lost, and they're back together. It's hard to speculate since he won't give us an exact reason why they're getting a divorce, so we don't know if it's financial or someone got caught cheating or what happened with them starting that process. But for me, that's definitely something I'm not going to mess with. I'm probably going to back up and leave it alone. I'm definitely probably not trying to stay in the house while this is going on. That's definitely not something I'll be looking to do. So.
Right. Now, Shannon, you're a bigger person, right? I could see Shannon going, you know what, it's all right. You could date my ex-husband. It's all good, right? No, Shannon?
Until you have signed the ink on these divorce papers, you are still together. Even though you're separated, y'all living in the same house. Very awkward. By the way. No, I'm not going to be able to do it. Now, if you choose to be with Nicole or Miranda or whoever, that's your business. But I'm not giving you my blessing for that. Let's get a divorce first.
Yeah. It would be weird, though, to get that call. Like you said, Dre, you know, from the ex-husband, like, hey, man, if you want to hit that, man, go right ahead, man. She's all yours.
What she likes.
Yeah.
In this position, this is what really makes her. Yeah. So it's odd.
You're like,
you know what's funny though?
Thanks.
He said, I want to give the guy the blessings. But you want to give this guy because he's still legally married, and in the eyes of God, still married. You want to give this guy the blessing to have an adulterous relationship with your wife. All right, hey, if that's what you want, but that's provided that they may be believers, they may not be, and then it doesn't really matter.
But just because you're giving your blessing doesn't mean that they're going to automatically lead into an adulterous relationship.
Right.
Carrie,
it's only 3 weeks in. Are they really getting it in?
Right, Carrie.
Oh no, but look, they've been friends for a long time now.
Right.
It wasn't like they just started dating after 3 weeks. They've been friends, and now they've been seeing each other. So there's some history there, but we don't know the context itself.
Carrie says he knows he doesn't want it and feels bad because he's gay. Mark my words. That's the only explanation. So I don't know. That might be. Who knows? She might be onto something there. All right. So, all right. I think we got through that one. This next one, Marisol will get the first crack at it. All right. So you ready, Marisol?
Yes.
All right. It's all on you. What should I do? How can I get him back? I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend for 5 years. During that, I had to live with my kid's father for 2, but in separate rooms. He cheated on me multiple times. I had an abortion, found out he was with another girl, and even moved in with her, which he promised he wouldn't do. I moved out when I could afford it. He and my ex fought because my ex came to the house and he was banging on my windows and etc. I tried to stop them. I found out I was pregnant again, then had a miscarriage. He got this girl pregnant and didn't even tell me. I found out 4 months later on Facebook when the baby was born. It was the anniversary of my miscarriage. I felt awful. My ex played me into sleeping with him. I did it one time and never repeated. I sent a couple of pics and stopped less than a week's time. Then I was fully committed again because I love my boyfriend. My boyfriend became faithful, even discussed a marriage date. We had signed a lease together. Then my ex sent him the screenshots of the video I didn't realize he took of us and the pics over 10 months ago. My boyfriend left, stopped our lease, and said he was letting go. Now he is saying he is giving me a chance, but we aren't together. He isn't sure if he can even get over this. He says he holds grudges and never gets over things and can't tell me what to do. Says he feels like he owes me this. Says he cares about me and the kids, but is angry and also hates me. What can I do? All right, 1 second.
Loaded question.
1 second. Sorry about that. All right. So
Very loaded question.
Very
so
loaded.
after 5 years
Mhm.
of being together, 2 of which she lived separate with her ex, was it?
yes.
He cheated on her, had another baby, and he wants to come at her because she had an affair while they were separated 10
Yes.
months prior.
Yes.
Me, I'd let it go. Sorry. Honestly. So here's what I think, right? So he had his slip up. I forgave him. I loved him. We continued to have a relationship together. We did what we fixed things. I was okay with it. I still love him. I never said, "Oh, you cheated on me. You had another baby. It's over with. I'm letting you go." Instead, we worked things out. We discussed marriage. We discussed getting a lease together. And he gets something from a jealous ex because the jealous ex hears that you're getting married to him, and he's going to be like, "Okay, you got to go." I don't think at that point there's anything you can do. He doesn't want to be there.
Mm-hmm. Boom.
Yeah.
What about you, fellas, or Shannon? What do you guys think about this situation?
I just think it's incredible. Like, you're with someone for 5 years, but you're with your kid's father in the same house, separate rooms, albeit, or 2. And then after these 5 years, your boyfriend becomes faithful. I'm so confused at what's going on. Everybody in this situation needs to be single. The end. That's it. They all need to be by themselves, like Celine Dion.
I actually agree with Shannon on that one.
Yeah, that's a hot mess all wrapped up in one. Yeah, everyone needs to go their separate ways, find themselves. Probably take a couple of years off before they try to get in anybody else's life, because that's a mess. That's a mess right there.
Did it say how old the couple is? How old are they?
No, but they act like they're 12.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Stephanie said she can't be with a man and he don't have a house to put her in. That's funny.
Yeah, I think you guys I agree with all of you guys. Like they don't belong in a relationship at this particular moment. There's a lot of insecurity in all that also. He's not trying to wasn't trying to give her a secure situation. She's feeling insecure and not doing the same. At this particular moment, neither of them are really good for one another. And it's so weird how guys view infidelity a lot different than women. Like some women are more apt to forgive quicker than guys are. And he's like, trying to leave at this point because an ex, I guess, sent him pictures of her. And some guys just have an issue with forgiveness, period. They say guys don't hold grudges. Guys don't get emotional with grudges, but they can hold it. They don't need to talk they can cut people off and not talk. And if you mention them, they don't have to talk about them. But women, it's a little bit different. They'll engage in conversation and hold grudges that way, and maybe a little bit more emotional. But they really need to all be single for a little while.
Yeah.
Get their lives.
For a little while, for a long while.
Yeah, for a good long while. Yeah.
That's the problem. A lot of people do stuff like that. Jack up seemingly good things with other people, and then it's. But you know what? I'd rather them stay together than to go outside of the relationships and find good people to jack up and create more jacked up people.
Mm. Yeah. Well, if they have children, they're going to wind up creating more jack up people anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, the children are already here. I'm just talking about don't go spreading these shenanigans like wildfires and germs.
Yeah.
We don't want them problems.
Yeah.
You staying in a relationship, Kente?
Hell no, man. Them guys are crazy. Nah. No. I'm at the quote. Get out. No.
Mac Black said it sounded like a good VH1 show. That I was not watching.
It definitely
Behind
does.
the craziness.
You know how many views that would get?
It sounded like a couple out of Utah, in my opinion. But you know,
I see Boogie in the Get Vocal chat as well as Luke and of course Carrie, who we talked about before. All right, so this next one, Brother Alan gets the first crack at this one. So let's go to it. All right, here we go. If I can get my mouse to work. All right, here we go. My boyfriend never seems to be satisfied with me. Please take time to help. Hi, everyone. I am hoping for some advice on the relationship I am in. Here's some background. My boyfriend and I have been friends for about 2 to 3 years. We are very similar people, same interests, life views, and opinions, and similar personality. We naturally get along well. He was previously married and then divorced. He and his ex-wife have a 5-year-old daughter together. Since this, we have been dating for a year and a half and now are living together. Our relationship has been a rough one. His ex-wife constantly calls and texts and uses the daughter frequently to speak to him as often as possible. The daughter and I have a very nice relationship. She comes to me for advice, copies me. We spend a lot of time together with my boyfriend and one-on-one time. I love kids and easily took to her and she took to me. So this is a great thing. My issue is that I'm very frustrated with my boyfriend's past life. I'm irritated. His ex calls constantly, and even that she exists. I do not believe she's a good mother, so it pains me to be around this little girl who I truly love and know her mother uses her in the way that she does. We can't go anywhere or do anything without hearing from the ex, which irritates both of us. I am angry inside that he has been married before, lived in the house with her we are living in now, and had a baby together, etc. I don't know. It's just hard for me to swallow. He is constantly having new issues with this ex that creates turmoil for the both of us and has for the past year and a half. I've tried to be civil with her, but she is very much impossible. I try to be the best girlfriend I can be. I eat healthy and I go to the gym regularly to keep my figure. I feel like I'm constantly cleaning the house so it's neat and maintained. I buy the groceries and make all the dinner. In the good weather, I landscape and plant flowers. When he comes home from work, I greet him with a smile, a hug, ask how his day went. I try to be up for whatever he wants to do, and I encourage us time and date time once a week. I am very, very good to his daughter. Take her places, buy her things, help her with her schoolwork and reading. Somehow, though, my boyfriend seems to be never satisfied with me. If we get along great for 2 or 3 weeks without any issue, but then have an argument, he acts like it's the end of the world. If I make dinner Monday through Thursday, but not Friday, he makes a comment about it. He expects a lot from me. To watch his daughter when he's working, to clean the house. He doesn't rarely do anything to maintain the cleanliness of our house, make all the meals, and still be very positive with a smile on my face at the end of the day. I get very overwhelmed. I went from 26 with no kids and my own responsibilities to having a family, basically, and all of these responsibilities. I am trying incredibly hard to do everything he wants and he needs because I love him so much and don't want to disappoint him. But it seems like it's never enough. When I get overwhelmed, I feel almost taken advantage of. So I talk with him about it and he gets angry, says, I must not want this life and forget doing anything. He'll do it all himself. He never just listens and tries to understand. He immediately gets defensive. We do go on dates and he pays and drives. He is sweet. He is fun to be around. He texts me every day, good morning, and we have a lot in common. However, as mentioned earlier, in this dreadfully long post, we are very similar. I am difficult, complex, and stubborn, and he is as well, if not worse. When an argument starts between us, it can seem to find an end. He gets so upset, brings up old fights, and gets sad and usually starts to cry. Our fights are typically followed by us recovering the next day by me saying, I will try harder. I apologize. When I bring up to him that I feel he isn't satisfied or that I am always the one making the effort to be better, he gets mad and says that I am sarcastic and aren't myself. I apologize if this is confusing. We have great days, but the bad days are bad. He says I'm not as happy as I once was. If I take a step back and look at maybe why, I get that. One, I am not happy about his ex and how she is and how it always affects us. Two, I am overwhelmed by all the housework and the child. Three, I can't talk to him about how I feel and know he'll understand because he gets angry and turns it around. Is this a flexible relationship? I get insecure that he always finds something wrong with me and seems never fully happy, and that makes him even more angry. If you are wondering why his marriage ended, they dated about a month and she got pregnant, dated through the pregnancy and thereafter, but he always said he knew she wasn't the one. Married her because he thought it was the right thing to do. He cheated on her several times and they divorced. This makes me incredibly insecure. But he says I'm judging his past and he would never do that to me. Thoughts on our whole relationship? Advice? Please help. I'm at a loss and feeling hopelessness. Woo!
Lord Jesus, that was long.
That was a mouthful, yes. Yes. That was a very long one.
Good thing I had my coffee to keep me up, Kente.
I was like, dang.
All right.
Hmm.
All right. So that was a mouthful.
Carrie Ann says there ain't enough housework in the world.
So what do you think, Alan?
She needs to run. She needs to go this way. He needs to go that way. And they don't need to meet up ever again.
Absolutely.
Let's start with the fact that from it sound like she had pretty much she was single. He was married, got out of that relationship. I'm not gonna say she's mentally disturbed, but she's dealing with mental abuse because whenever you deal with someone who can manipulate you and make you feel like you're in the wrong just because of how you are trying to voice yourself, he's borderline narcissistic. Just look at the fact that no matter what she's doing is not good enough. Not even getting on the point about the way his ex-wife is handling. I mean, I know she doesn't have a responsibility in that, but as a man, you need to check your ex-wife. For one thing, you have a daughter, so you guys are stuck with each other. until at least the next 18 years, however old that little girl is. So that's something that does have to be addressed, because there is a respect that needs to be in the relationship. I can understand that she's the ex-wife and she may feel like she has certain privileges. Unfortunately, once you get a divorce, those privileges are no longer there. You can't be coming and checking on somebody whenever you want to do it, whenever you want to call them. The simple fact, she has issues because she's using his daughter to get to him. He needs to address that. It's unfortunate that the young lady put herself in that position. Apparently, as far as I can tell, she does not have a outlet where she could have talked to somebody for the proper advice. Because sometimes when you look at the fact that I guess him and the ex-wife got together, then a month later she got pregnant, and then from there it spiraled downhill from there. You can have a oops all you want, but a child, that's a big oops. Once you have a kid, that oops, that's not something you can just erase and get rid of. And when you deal with, I know I've dealt with somebody in my young age who had got divorced and had 2 kids. And that can be emotionally draining. And that's with 2. And she's going through all of this. It's good that she made a bond with the daughter, but she's losing too much of herself to deal with someone who is selfish in his own avenue. And he won't even address and admit that he's selfish because he wants to play the victim role. So if I was someone giving her advice, she needs to cut that off. I understand she may be attached to the daughter and she may feel like she's in love with him. I don't really believe she's in love with him. I believe she's comfortable with him. Just because you're saying both of us are similar, that doesn't mean you're compatible. Opposites don't always attract, but it's not always good to have the same person either. I can take myself for an example. I'm a loud person by nature. I know my temperament. I can't deal with someone who's equally as loud as me 24/7. We're gonna kill each other, like point blank period. That's not gonna work. She really needs to cut that relationship out. And on the cheating part, not everybody, I know the saying once a cheater is always a cheater. That's not always the case with everybody. But he's already showing building blocks that he may be that kind of person just because of everything he is putting her through already as it is. All it could probably take is one thing for him to decide, you know what, I don't want to deal with this. Let me go find Shorty over here who's actually going to do stuff without complaining. So that's something she definitely needs to cut her losses and get out.
All right. So anybody else want to hop in on that?
Were they married?
Yeah. No, he was married to his ex-wife. Now they're in a relationship.
I don't remember. Did it say how long they were in a relationship for?
I don't know that they said that, but long enough to have some real attached feelings towards each other. She was basically saying, I had no responsibilities but to myself. Mm-hmm. So now I have to take care of his kid, clean and do all of this stuff, and it's he doesn't appreciate it. You know what I mean?
She's practically a slave.
Right. Yeah. 12 months a slave.
Exactly.
Well, I think I don't know. I wish I had more context. I would actually try to get into his mindset to see first how he views women, and then even ask what type of women was in his life growing up, because it could very well be that he grew up around all women and may have been like one of the only boys in the family around a bunch of women or sisters or whatever, and had his way. Every time he caught a fit, didn't develop any sense of resiliency at all, and which is why he doesn't receive what she says very well. I think Alan said narcissistic. It could be that, or it could be that he's just extremely insecure in himself. He doesn't want to hear anything about himself. It could be that. So the way it sounds like she's not this young lady isn't a bad person. And the way she describes him, I don't know if she described him as a bad person either. I just don't think he understands what it means to be a provider, somebody who actually could love his family, care for his family, and he needs to be taught that because he may have never been taught that in the beginning. But on her part, I don't think that she assessed the situation in the beginning properly. And I think a lot of people do that. They go into a relationship with people with kids, and they don't consider the fact that there are kids involved, and you can't just get into the relationship with the adult. You have to have a relationship with the whole family and the kids as well.
What
So
about
if
the piece about the ex though? Because I mean, remember she spends the first part of the letter going in on how miserable the ex makes them feel and how she's always there and she's always present. And she said, she even said, I wish she didn't even exist. You remember? So that was her words, which you shouldn't write that, but and then then it goes into how she does all this stuff for him, and he basically doesn't he doesn't care. It's almost like yeah, you're supposed to do it, you must leave.
That's how she feels, or is that how he communicated it to her?
It's her interpretation of by the way he acts. So I'm sure he wouldn't come out and be like, you must leave.
Yeah, because the thing is, she also talked about how he would make her feel affirmed by certain things that he would do. Text messages, I love yous, and all that stuff. So I think he definitely has an issue with relationships and what role he's playing in the house and what allowances he's allowing his ex-wife to have. That's definitely needs to be addressed. But there's something there with her also that she's maybe she's feeling a sense of competition with her. Or maybe she's overcompensating because she's around, and she feels like he's not appreciating it, and he may be overwhelmed himself and saying, "Listen, I'm trying to appreciate it, but my appreciation isn't being seen either." It could be. It seems very deep, and the thing is, it's hard. Like, it was a lot, bro. So I'm trying to like compartmentalize everything that you said.
My fault, Dre. Wasn't there a part of that where he was talking about his ex-wife cheating on him, or she cheated on him several times or whatnot?
No, he should. That was the reason why their marriage ended, was because when he married his ex, the crazy ex, that he only married her because she got pregnant, and he cheated on her a bunch of times, and then that caused the end of the marriage. So yeah,
I asked that because he's pretty much carrying the burdens that he had in his last relationship into his, or what is his current relationship. So he hasn't even worked out his own issues and going into something brand new with all of that baggage. So that wasn't going to work from the jump.
Yeah.
All right.
So he definitely needs to be, they don't need to be together because she's about to find herself in a really, really dark place mentally.
Yeah. And if I could be semi-transparent, like one of the reasons why, like I've been separated now over 10 years and divorced legally since 2012. And I haven't, had a woman in my house because I need to know that my kids are going to be okay. Right. And I need to know that the person that I'm going to wind up marrying won't be writing a letter like this. Saying, taking care of this man's 3 kids and he don't appreciate me. Whoa. I'm definitely going to appreciate you, but what's with all the hostility? Like, I love you and I'm trying my hardest, just chill. So I think that, when you get in a relationship, if you're watching out there with somebody with kids and you don't like kids, well, not saying that she doesn't, but if you're not into it and willing to accept all the responsibilities that come with it, then maybe that may not be the right position for you, the right situation. And that's just a thing of compatibility, and it's okay.
All right. This next one is actually for Shannon. Shannon gets this one, and Shannon will love this one. I believe this is one of the ones you picked, so this is a good one. All right, so Shannon, let me get it. Sorry, my bad. Let me get it queued up. Shannon gets first dibs. Here we go. Let me get my mouse ready. Longtime friend, not sure about his feelings or what to do next. I met him through a college club. We hung out regularly with a group of friends. I had feelings for him and got mixed signals. We could talk about other girls and such, We joked with each other a lot. At the same time, we would get touchy-feely, hugs, backing me into walls, holding hands, tickling, wrestling, lying together. He moved a few years later and we lost touch. I reached out this past February. He moved back last year. I recovered from some personal issues and wanted to reconnect. I planned to send a confession letter, but agreed to meet. About a month ago, we had dinner, caught up, laughed, joked around like old times. We didn't even realize when our meals arrived that he paid for both, even though I tried to pay for mine. We walked back to his place and talked more. He encouraged me to talk, and he really listened. We wrestled, pinned each other, and fighting for control. He said he could tie my wrist with a lanyard, and I was game, so he did. This led to him pulling out actual rope, a kink I was aware he had and cool with, and wrestling while he tied my wrist. By the time we stopped, I was really turned on. He made an offhand comment about his clothes, and I suggested he take them off. This led to us taking. This led to us taking off most of each other's stuff and talking about sexual preferences. He suggested we sleep and see in the morning. We shared his bed and stayed close all night. And at one point, after he got up, he pulled me closer and rubbed my back. The next morning, we played around a bit. He told me he wouldn't do anything until I told him what I wanted. I'm a virgin, he doesn't know, and didn't know what to say. He didn't have much time since he had to meet a friend. So we just laid together for a bit. He rubbed my body very gently and didn't pressure me. We talked about meeting again after he came back from a few weeks of traveling. Since then, we've texted a few times. The last text I sent was on 4/25, asking when I could see him next. No reply. He's never been a fan of texting. I really want to see him again to figure things out. He's so hard to read. I'm so confused of his feelings for me and unsure of what to do next. What do you think? All right. You can probably figure out why I went to Shannon for that one. So Shannon.
They some freaks.
As you can see, I did that all in one take. And I did that in one take, and I did not think this was going that way. I was pretty surprised, but So, what do you think about this situation?
This whole garbage. I don't. I think that I don't remember what was said. Besides the fact that she texted him last on 4/25, and what, she hadn't heard from him again.
Mm-hmm.
When people show you who they are, believe them. Silence is a response. So move on. Like, I mean, it hurts. It happens. It's real out there. But move on.
Gary says he's gay.
He not and with lanyards, zip ties, and ropes. Trust and believe that. So next.
He's married or gay. I mean, he was the one that brought up the whole tying up with the rope and all of that stuff and doing all that. And then he just didn't go nowhere with it. So what's that about? What is that about? Why would you start that? Like that seems like that's punishing yourself.
I'm sorry. If I take my clothes off, I'm getting some. I'm sorry. Just saying.
Oh, we went straight for that, huh? Okay, cool. But I feel like he didn't. It's not like he didn't want it. He was just waiting for her to give him the green light. And he not that type of person to be like, he's not that type of person to make the first move. He'll suggest it, obviously, but he won't take it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion.
And he didn't know that she was a virgin, so and she was ready to
Exactly.
She was ready to lose it, so she was
I
looking
think it's
forward
just-
to it.
Yeah, I think it's just a case of both of them waiting for somebody to make the first move.
What you got to do is tie up somebody that claims that's a virgin with some ropes and turn them on, and then they'll release the cookies just that quick.
I mean, sure, it sounds like rape, but apparently she wanted it.
Yeah, I turned it on. But,
I know, Marisol. I mean, if you go that far down the plank, that you got to jump.
Definitely. And if he won't make the move, then you make it happen. If she wanted it, she should have made it happen. She had the next morning to make it happen, and instead just let him rub on her body. So I think it's a thing of not being comfortable enough to communicate your needs and your wants with that person. Because if I'm with someone and we are at that point, baby boy, you best be believing we are going way past that.
And Carrie says, "Is no one here into bondage?" I think there's a lot of bondage fans in this chat and some on this panel. You know what? Look, I like to show up on time when I say that I'm going to be there, right? So if I say to a friend, if I say, Dre, we got a meeting at 10 o'clock, I'm going to be there. But if I got cookies in the oven, you know what I'm saying? Dre, I'm going to be late. You know, like, sorry, Dre, I got some business to take care of here. So like this excuse of, oh, I gotta meet a friend, you know, we would get it in, but you know, I got to hook up with the homie. I mean, unless he's about to pay me back, you know, a bunch of money that I have to have. I'm probably gonna be late for that meeting.
We don't know if the homie was a guy though. If I know I couldn't get, but my other friend hit me up, and I know definitely I can get it from the other one, I'm probably gonna leave you there.
So moral of the story is
he never said that was a homeboy.
That's
he
right.
just said a friend.
A friend.
Good point though.
He just said a friend. And let's be honest, especially in the culture we're in, a lot of people have these friends with benefits.
Right.
And rolling wherever they can go. So if he knows that he can't get it from her, like we just found out, she hasn't told him she's a virgin, but like we've noticed, neither of them was willing to act out on what they was attempting to do. But if he knows he has someone that's willing to be tied up, and that one called, all right, I'm out.
Yeah,
but did it say that she was willing to go all the way with him?
Yeah, she wanted it. She wanted it.
Yeah, she said she was ready.
Yeah. I'm like, I mean, I understand the other situation might be cool or whatever, but you got a situation right in front of you. I mean, you know.
Moral of the story is closed mouth don't get fed. Pun intended. Right. We got to see if that is that's gonna think. No one should be tying up a virgin. He didn't know it was a virgin, so you know.
How long have they been talking?
They've known each other for a long time, and they really hadn't seen each other in a long time. They used to flirt with each other back in the day, and then now he's seeing, you know, they've seen each other, and you know they almost have this moment, and the moment only stops, and then he never talks to her again. So what's that about? So do you think maybe something might have happened that put him off?
Relationship. He's already in a relationship.
He's gay.
I don't think so. You know what I think happened? Yeah. I think they have the talk where he gave her he dropped that little hint. Oh, I'm into this. She said, "Oh, I like that. That kind of turns me on." He presented her the opportunity to go a little further. She didn't, because she was waiting for him, being that she was a virgin, and she was waiting for him.
He said something about the clothes. She said, "Why don't you take your clothes off?" That is code for we're about to get it in. If a woman tells a guy, "Take your clothes off," right? Then the guys, most guys are going to think, "Okay, all right, she just gave me the green light."
Sounds like the green light to me. That's definitely not the red light. That's not the red or the yellow light.
Like a woman that's not interested, that wants to just cuddle, they want to cuddle with clothes on. Right. Now, granted, like I'm not, because we're living in a culture now where, with the Me Too movement and things like that, so things are very sensitive. No matter if even if they're naked and she says no, no is no. Right. So let me just put it out there. But how guys will communicate, well, how guys would perceive that. If she's saying, take off your clothes, he's probably initially going to think, okay, maybe this is the green light for us to have a moment of sexual intimacy until she says no. And then
has a woman ever told a guy to get naked and that didn't mean it? I mean, I'm not talking about your kids, or if you're a doctor.
Can I give a little?
The man is married. I agree, Steph. I think he's married too.
Can I give a little? So recently, I was in a situation where we were both naked, and so until I told him okay, he wasn't gonna do anything. Like I had to give him that verbal prompt to be like, yes, we're good. So maybe he needed that affirmation, like, yeah, okay, we're naked, but I want to hear you say yes, so you can't come back later and say I never said yes.
I feel that because it's a lot of people being accused of rape out here.
Exactly.
So you definitely don't want to be that person that be like, oh, I thought she wanted it because A, B, and C.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know, but then he didn't talk to her again, though. What's the? I mean, that's the thing that
because nothing happened.
He didn't get any.
Did he get
He's
scared?
married. Steph said it. This dude is married, or he's in a relationship. That's why.
But a married man who's gonna get naked and not get some? Wait a minute.
He ain't coming back.
No, he ain't.
Would you lay in the bed with her all night and all of that and cuddle and all?
That's not gonna play over well with your wife. By the way, baby, I was with somebody naked, but I didn't get none.
Let me explain something. Guys are guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they have an opportunity just to even look at a naked woman, they'll probably take that opportunity, even if they don't have sex. That's why guys spend thousands of dollars a week at a strip club, knowing that they're about to see naked women and not get any. They pay for lap dances and still not getting any. So if he's like able to see her naked, touch the body, and get that, he's probably going to take that opportunity, even if sex isn't involved.
Mm.
Well, you better not tell your wife then,
So if that's like your homegirl, what would you suggest she do? Should she just move on and, or should she try to get some kind of response from him to find out was it? I mean, what do you think she should do?
Take the L, keep it pushing.
Yeah.
I'm with him.
I agree with that. Yeah. No Me Too movement doesn't mean women tell guys to get naked and when they don't want sex. I like Carrie. Where's she come from? She's funny. Carrie, you got to keep coming back. We got to get you on the show, Carrie. You funny.
It's a lot of it is about women empowerment and them being able to get what they want and being able to say that's enough when it's time to say that's enough. And whoever it is, the male, need to respect that. And vice versa. Guys need to respect that too.
Arrow is my cousin. Who's Arrow?
Carrie, she meant.
Oh, Carrie is her cousin. Oh, okay. That's what's up. All right. So this next one goes to Dre, right? Yeah. Dre gets this one. All right. This one's a good one too. All right, here we go. This one kind of surprised me a little bit. I didn't know this was where this was going. The famous line, "We need to talk." Hi, everyone. I would try to keep this short. So I was seeing this guy for about 2 years. We hit it off very well. We were casual at the beginning. He used to ask me out with his friends. Initially, I would refuse. But after about a year, I decided to hang out with his friends. I got along really well with his friends. He did act up once or twice due to jealousy. That is when things got a little serious between us. But on our last meetup, he was flirting with another girl right in front of me, which bothered me. Next day, he texted to apologize. After a few days, I decided to call it quits with him, but he refused to let go. We left it at that, and 2 days later, I heard from him. He said that someone had sent his wife, yes, he was actually married, an email about the girl he was flirting with and asked if I was the one who sent it to her. I was totally and utterly confused. Long, short story, I explained to him it was not me. He told me to my face that he was going to deny every single bit that he ever cheated to his wife. He clearly was telling me that he did not want anything to do with me, and that was his family was important, which I understood, and I stepped away. He called me again after 2 weeks, asking if I again sent more messages to his wife, as it was sent from a profile that looked like mine. He was threatening me, and I told him to get out of my life and not to bother me. I had not contacted him since. It has been 3 months of absolute no contact. He had not blocked me on Facebook or WhatsApp. And then 3 months later, which was 2 days ago, he pops up 5 a.m. in the morning, texting me this, "We need to talk." I saw the message much later and asked him what it was about, but there was absolutely no response from him. I just needed to know, why would he ask to talk and then disappear? I just want to know, why would he ask to talk and then disappear? Is it to ask about another message that was sent? Okay. Yeah, that one was a little bizarre, Ro.
Yeah, just a little bizarre. First, she don't need to ask him anything. What she needs to do is block him from every kind of contact that she can. She's curious, so she wants to know. She doesn't need to find out why he's reaching out. In fact, he needs to be deleted from every aspect of her life. 2 years they were together. And he was married the whole time, right?
Right.
Married the whole time. He was jealous though when they went out together with the friend. He got really jealous, and then he was flirting with another woman in front of her, and she decided that it was over. And then I'm sorry. And then he hits her up out of the blue 2 weeks later, saying, "Did you send this to my wife?" Yo, what? Yo, what? Your wife, first off, at that point, she should have cut off all communication. That's what she should have did. At that point, there is nothing more needed to be said. It's over. We don't need to talk. I'm not talking to your wife. I'm not talking to you. Leave me alone and leave me out of your mess. I'm mad that I was in it 2 years already. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I want to be in this mess. I think she still has some sort of connection to him because she's curious about what it is that he's reaching out for. I think that and for her own sanity, she really needs to just cut him off altogether, block him from everything. And she said, I noticed that she said he didn't block me. She should have been the one to block him. That should have been done.
Mm-hmm.
There is zero contact.
He is definitely not going to block her. He want to keep that option open. Oh man!
Thank you, Dedrick. That's what he wants. He cheated 2 years with her, and then she found out that that there was other women. And the thing is, and what's funny to me is his wife is getting messages not about her,
Right,
but about other women. And that's my thing. Like I would sit down and talk with her and say,
was it a jealous player? How that worked?
That's my homie.
That's that pimp mentality. You're my woman. All of you are my women, and you guys can't talk to anybody unless I give you permission to. But either way, I would sit her down and say, listen, let's just paint this out, and paint and draw it out for her piece by piece. Say, listen, this is it. You were seeing this guy for 2 years. You called it quits because he was flirting in front of you, and then 2 weeks later, you found out that he was married. Okay, then I would ask her, why at that point did you not cut it off? I don't know. Okay, let's keep going. So now you found out he's married, and somebody's been sending him pictures and videos of him with another woman that's not you. How does that make you feel? Why do you still contact him? Or why are you still curious about why he's contacting you?
Right.
Why haven't you blocked him yet? Okay, let's keep going. You realize he didn't block you, okay? And then he reaches out again, telling you that he wants his family's important to him, and he is going to stay with his family, which he doesn't need a family right now. He just needs to work his business out. Then at that point, I would say, why are you still keeping the options open for communication? And I would just keep painting it. Eventually, it would have to lead to her saying, you know what, I really need to leave him totally alone and avoid all contact. It's a messed up situation. It's foul. I feel bad that she was in it. And I think that she's drawn to the situation for something. Maybe she's is attracted to drama, because some people just can't seem to want peace or be in peace, so they're drawn to being in situations that are full of drama. But she really needs to cut all communication and move on.
Yeah, how you cheating on your wife but you jealous, but like of a woman that's not your wife flirting with a guy? That's just so bizarre to me. But you know,
you gotta be confident or insecure. Pick a side. right, yeah.
Curiosity kills the cat, and that's what's gonna mess around and happen. And all he doing is laying out that bait and reeling her in, and she keep taking it. She keep taking it over and over and over. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we said that he had texted her back saying he's about his family, leave him alone, and stuff like that.
Right.
Okay. This is just me personally. I don't feel like he sent that.
Oh, you think it might be in his wife?
That's something a woman that's fighting for her relationship is going to send. I don't think he sent that. Yeah. I think
the wife needs counseling too, then.
Yeah, I think the wife sent that, and that explains why she never heard nothing back when she responded back. The wife sent that.
Oh, that was a good one. I never even thought about that one.
Wife sent that.
Good idea.
It probably was the wife. Yeah.
Let's be honest. All of us have been in relationships. We know how people are when it comes to their cell phone. I've never been in a cheating relationship, but I've seen people who dealt with people in cheating relationships, and stuff can go left real quick. Go from, let me see your phone, you're not going to see my phone, so I'm going to take your phone, and then since I got your phone, I'm about to go hit up, what's this number that you've been texting? Talking about, babe, I love you, this and this, we need to talk. Yep, let me go ahead and put my little 2 cents on there, see what's about to be said.
Right.
Yeah, why are you texting Pizza Hut? You love him.
Yeah, she needs to cut that off. She needs counseling. He needs counseling. Like Andre said, he actually don't need to be in a relationship with anybody, because you married, you got a homegirl, you flirting over here. How you even keep a track with all these girls you messing with? So
one is enough.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Did you leave him alone? They want to know, did you leave him alone? Probably not. Because she wants to know what he wants to meet about. So yeah. So
and she's gonna write him a text message in a couple of days. Hey, you reached out to me the other day. Why? What did you need? Because she wants that. I'm hoping that she doesn't.
You know, the block feature on your phone is really awesome. You know, and I think more people need to use that. You can block people in social media. You can block them all kind of ways. Now I know some people will. They're asking you, Steph. Okay, you can, you can use that. You know, so I mean, if somebody's really crazy, they will, they will find ways around it. But most people, when you block them, they pretty much get the hint. I would like to believe.
Yeah.
I need to fix that situation expeditiously.
That sounds like a Lifetime episode right there.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm that. No, thank you.
Audrey, are you here?
Yes. Hi. Welcome, Audrey. Haji.
Audrey.
All right. When Audrey comes back, we will introduce her, and she gets the last one. So
hey.
All right.
And yes, her birthday.
So before I do that, I just want to let people know tomorrow night on Get Vocal at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, me and Shannon and Jen as well. She'll be joining us as well. We'll be interviewing a young African American lady who is a filmmaker. I'm sorry, is a science fiction writer, and hopefully her work will be turned into film. Yvette Kendall. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
It will be.
Yes. So you guys check it out. She'll be on Get Vocal. We're gonna talk. We're gonna chop it up with her, and that's at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern on Get Vocal. So, all right. So Audrey. Is Audrey there? Okay, she's still on mute. And also, I guess I'll take this time to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Pretty earlier, we had Melvin was in the Get Vocal chat, as well as Luke. And we have on YouTube, Jada has joined us. We have So Steph, of course, Dedrick, who's on the panel, Danny Redwine, who was on Get Vocal as well. We have Free, Dedrick's brother. We have Carrie Ann, which is it's a family affair, which is we just find out is Danny's cousin. Also, of course, we have Earl Hicks as well. And let me scroll up as well. We had I know I'm missing somebody. It was somebody named Mac something. Was in D Pullum as well in the chat. And if I did not get you, I apologize. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. All right. So welcome to the show, Audrey. How are you doing, Audrey?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Shanban.
Yes. What we're doing is we're talking about moral dilemmas, and I play the moral dilemma, and then you will get the first crack at the last one. So we'll play it on the screen. You check it out, and then we'll get your thoughts first. Sounds cool?
Yes, that'll work.
It's gonna be long, Audrey. Oh.
Yeah. You will love this. This was picked by your homie.
Super long.
Shannon.
This is picked by your homie Shannon. So here we go.
Stop it.
Love triangle. I went out drinking with friends. Robert and I have been flirting since we met a couple of months ago, but we aren't dating yet. The others started fighting, so Robert and I went and talked for hours and ended up kissing me. That's all we did. When we came back to the group, Betty wanted to talk to Robert, but she ended up talking with me first. She asked me what Robert and I had done, and I told her we were just kissing. She told me that she had feelings for Robert, even though she has been dating Doug for over a year, and that she and Robert hooked up once before she and Doug got together. She said she thought of Robert as her yardstick to compare other men, including Doug, and that Robert was her safety net or backup plan. She said that Robert and I dating was weird for her. She cried and seemed brokenhearted. Robert joined Betty and I a bit later, and Betty told Robert that she still wanted to talk to him. She left to grab another drink. Robert asked me what I thought Betty wanted to talk to him about. I was confused and hurt and just decided to be honest. I told Robert that Betty has feelings for him, and that she's not okay with us being together. I told him that I knew he and Betty had hooked up in the past. I figured he should have all the information and know what I know. In retrospect, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Before Betty came back, he said that Doug was one of his best friends, and Betty was one of his best girlfriends. I left Robert and Betty to talk and went home. The next day, I heard from Betty. She had gotten blackout drunk. She didn't remember what she and Robert talked about, and I didn't tell her what I shared with Robert. Apparently, after Robert and Betty talked, Betty passed out, and Robert called one of the other guys to get her back to her apartment. Robert left right after that. To make things more complicated, we're traveling with a group of 12 friends to Las Vegas this weekend. I still like Robert, but I haven't really heard from him since the weekend. Do I need to try to talk to Robert about this? Do you think Robert is mad at me for what I shared? Is there still a chance that for Robert and I? All right. Okay, so Robert is a man that both the writer and Betty both want. So what do you think about that, Audrey? Oh, you're on mute, Audrey. Everybody's on mute.
Except for me.
Oh, okay.
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
And Mary.
We're just where is the mute?
Unmute. Take your mute off.
Yeah, where is the mute button?
It's
Go
at
ahead.
the bottom.
Oh, there we go.
I am.
Can
There
you
we
hear me
go.
now?
Yes.
All right. So here's the thing. That's a whole bunch of craziness. Number one, it seemed like everybody's dibbling and dabbling in everything. Me personally, Robert seems like he's just trying to have a good time. If I were girl, I would probably ask Robert, can we talk before we go on this Vegas trip? A lot of times when people are drunk, they say what they really feel. They don't have a filter. They don't have anything to, even though it's what they feel, our conscious oftentimes makes us not say it or put a filter on it. But when someone's drunk, they usually say whatever they really feel, whatever they really want to say. So Betty probably was being 1000% honest what she felt about Robert. Me personally, I would try to talk to Robert before the trip just so there's not extra awkwardness. I probably would leave the whole situation alone, to be honest. I would probably try to get my trip because I'm assuming it's already paid for, and try to get through as much as I can get through without feeling too awkward. But I probably would leave the whole situation alone, to be honest. I think it sounds like a whole bunch of just immature people, to be honest. Betty's with Doug, but hooked up with Robert. Robert is friends with Doug, knows Doug is one of his best friends, but he's still hooked up with Betty. Like it's doing too much.
Yeah.
And on the episode of Jerry.
Right. And sometimes when you have like a little group of friends and stuff like that, and people start hooking up within the group, you can have issues, right?
That's nasty.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it can be nasty for sure.
Look, that's nasty.
I mean, like if
Keep it in the family.
When someone who has a person that they're dating, but they don't want you to date somebody because they feel weird about it. That's kind of, especially someone they not really been in a relationship with,
Right.
I don't know.
It's selfish of her to even come at her like that, and she got a boyfriend.
Right, she need to be worried about her boyfriend, right?
Yeah, like well, I feel awkward. What about Doug?
Right, forget Doug, right?
Right, poor Doug.
Yeah, he don't know nothing.
So I get the whole girls' code thing. I was there before you were. I still care about him, and this is how I measure everyone from. But she's with someone, so obviously she is not all about that Robert. And
right.
Why should she even be approaching her? Oh,
right.
That's my love. You can't have him. And why should it even be an issue? She shouldn't feel like she needs to stop herself from exploring whatever's between her and Robert because of Betty, who's in a relationship.
Right.
That part.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Let me ask the guys the question. Flipping it. If you are the person, would it bother you that in this? Let's say you were her, but you're a guy, and you were interested instead of Robert. We'll say Betty or whatever. Would it give you pause that your friend had hooked up with them in the past?
For me, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't even go there anyway because he been there and done that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. No,
he's gonna shoot up her club. Hilarious.
What?
Wait a minute! Don't just say that and keep walking. Who just said it about to shoot up a club?
Shoot up her club.
Danny.
Okay.
Her club, not the club.
That went left real fast.
I'm reading the comments in the chat.
Yeah.
hilarious. I don't know. I mean, does that bother you, the ladies? Right? Does it bother you that would you give you pause that a woman who's a good friend of yours hooked up with a guy that you're interested in like a long time ago, like one time? What if it was like a one-time thing?
We don't do that in my circle. It's just gross. Like, and most of my friends are hit in a serious relationship. We're not doing that now. Most of the people we dated in our past, we wouldn't want you to hook up with. No way. Like, there's a reason why this is for a reason. Like,
what if it was no sex involved? They just went on a couple of dates.
That's a little different.
Is he fine?
I don't know.
Like, I think that's a little different, and I think you got to identify because they could have been getting to know each other, and that's okay. But when you find out, you could be honest in the beginning and say, "Listen, yeah, you know, so and so and I went on a couple of dates, you know, and take it from there." But I think that's okay. But when it gets to physical, that takes it to a different level, especially for guys.
I was just gonna say, like, I had a situation, but this is like going all the way back to like high school type deal. And it wasn't necessarily like this, but it was, I had a friend that had a crush on this guy when we was in high school. And they never did anything. Neither one of them said they ever did anything. But then, like, after high school, the guy approached me and was like, "Hey, I liked you. I always kind of had a crush on you, yada, yada, yada." And for me, it was like, I told him, I said, you know, I don't know if you even know or realize, but so-and-so has had a crush on you forever. And so for me, it's kind of weird or awkward. But I talked to her as well and was like, "Hey, so-and-so approached me. He likes me. He wants to try to go on a date or whatever, whatnot. Are you cool with that?" And it had been so long ago. We were out of high school. So that was like a high school crush. So it was like, okay, cool. No, I ain't tripping about it. But there was a level of communication in there to try to say or see how everybody felt. And for me, it was to go ahead and say, okay, I kind of feel weird. Because again, girl code. If you know somebody's had a crush on somebody forever, but it worked out. It worked out in the end. Nobody's feelings was hurt. I think it was just a mature move for everybody to sit down and talk and make sure everybody was cool about it.
Key word: mature and communication.
Yep. That part.
Yeah, I was in a similar situation years ago, where I had a coworker and it was like, you know, some attraction there. But I'm the type that, like, if we work together, we can never be together. Especially if it's in a very small type of staff setting. I don't want to risk my job or her job. But she had a friend who we started to communicate and then realized that they were really close friends. Like, they were like almost best friends. And before I had a chance to talk to her about it, they had already talked. And it was a situation that was cool. So we, you know, hung out a little bit, got to know each other, and realized that it wasn't good for us to be together. And I kept that moving too.
Yeah. Funny, Shannon. I saw your that you.
That's crazy because this type of situation happens all the time where I'm from.
Are you, because you live in a small town, though, right?
Yeah, the whole county is small. I'm almost literally related to everybody.
Raleigh?
Wow.
Nah, I'm outside of Raleigh, Dre.
Okay.
And it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, if you're in a small fishbowl like that, I mean, the rules kind of change, right?
Yeah.
If you're on Gilligan's Island, you only have but so many options.
Anybody's fair game. Not my family, of course.
Right.
We that's not the state that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anybody's fair game pretty much around these parts.
Right. But like if you're in LA, New York, whatever, it's different. Oh, I guess if you're on Staten Island, right? It's pretty small. Yeah, right. It's kind of like Gilligan's Island.
Staten Island's pretty big, not.
You really got. What's
It's
that?
bigger than Key West. So yeah, Staten Island's huge.
Like, tell you, man, like just whenever I date somebody from Staten Island, they've already dated like 3 or 4 guys that I grew up with.
Yeah.
It's like that.
So basically, the guy and girl code is tweaked in those places. Basically,
It would have to
pretty
be
much.
unless you're dating outside and gonna date 20 counties over.
Yeah, we gotta travel around here.
Yeah.
All right.
There's less than
So,
6
it's a
degrees
small
separation.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and you're
Sorry. There's less than 6 degrees of separation in Staten Island.
Right. All right. So basically, we have no excuse. Me and wait, where are you from, Alan?
I'm in Orlando, so I don't have that problem.
Right.
Why?
Right. We can't use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
But
I'm
if
out
you're
here.
in a small town, it's okay.
Okay.
I mean,
That's what I mean. In essence, that's what we're saying.
Right.
I guess apparently.
I mean, I don't know.
There has to be some rules, though.
Well, all right. I'll say morally it's not, but because nobody really cares, it's really whatever.
It's like the Wild
Okay,
Wild West.
I'm gonna give you guys a dilemma.
All
I'm
right.
gonna give you.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
And this is kind of piggybacking off of this. This is a me transparent moment dilemma.
We here for it.
Well, you already know this. Me transparent dilemma. Okay, so small town. This is a small town where I am in, but it's still kind of big. Dating someone, or in my case, I was married to someone that knew a lot of people in town. He is a musician, plays the drums, yada 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 yada, whatever. Once we separated, once we were apart, somebody in my inbox, they tried to shoot their shot. And the shot went in. And I said, cool. Now, this was not anything like, let's go out on dates or let's do anything. This was like, the code word was, if I called and if I said, I need a few moments of your time, he knew what that was. And that's all that was. Okay, so the dilemma comes into play is that now he and my ex-husband were not like friends, like they never came to the house, like he wasn't anybody that I knew of him interacting with, but he is also a musician in town. I was told that I broke code because as musicians, they know other musicians. And for me, I was like, this person has never broke bread when we were together at our house. He did not come to our wedding. He's not anyone that I knew of as being your friend. Now, for him and in his mind, he might have been like, oh, so that's so-and-so's ex-wife. Okay, yada, yada, yada. But again, for me, it wasn't about going out to dinner or dates or gifts. If I called and said, I need a few moments of your time, he knew what that meant. And that's all that was. So with that being said, I don't think I broke code, but you guys, you judge me. I'm giving you permission to judge me.
That means you broke the code, Audrey. That means you can't. No drummers. No
Let me
beatboxers.
understand real quick. So they didn't know each other, but they both were musicians.
No, we're in a small town, so pretty much all the musicians in town
They
are
play together.
familiar
Know of
with
each other.
Oh, so we're acquaintances. Yeah, you messed that up. No, you messed that up. We acquaintances. Nah, I
You know
see.
what it gets
No,
awkward?
you messed it
It's
up.
not an
You know where it gets
acquaintance to
awkward?
me.
Nah,
But
it gets
to me,
awkward.
it's an acquaintance. Like,
So
This is where it gets
every
awkward.
drummer in
So-
every musician in the town in town.
Yeah, no rappers, no beatboxers.
Because they're
No,
in the same industry.
Yeah, no. So I think I know what you're saying because they'll
That's
at
crazy.
any given point they will perform with one another, and because that's how like
I
musicians.
mean, it's possible that they
Yeah.
could, or that
And then
they
here's
did.
where it gets awkward, Audrey. Okay, you're dating him, and he's
No,
playing the band.
not
Well,
dating.
No, they're not dating. That's just her.
wait, first of all,
you
I'll ask this: was your situationship? No.
Yeah.
The people know about you guys and know that you guys.
No.
Then, never mind.
No, nobody. It wasn't anything where people knew. This was no.
You
This
sure
is no-
nobody in his circle knew?
This was
And your
nobody. Well, for me, I came out up front, and now, and again, me personally, we're divorced. Like I shouldn't even have to say anything or whatever, whatnot. But it's like, okay, the question was asked, so I'm gonna be honest. I'll say it.
What made him ask the question? Did you ask him?
He said he noticed there was something different with me.
Mm-hmm.
This code stuff is stupid.
I mean,
It was
considering.
Good point.
You guys watching on Facebook and get vocal. You guys don't know we have a chat just with the panelists. And so a few years back, I dated a Delta. We got very close, but realized that, we just not meant to be together, right? She's a Delta. So for a little while, I was a Delta boyfriend. They was ready to give me the T-shirt and everything, right?
Wow.
After we broke up, I made a joke saying that I'm going to go find what's her name, Keisha Knight Pulliam, see if I could propose to her. She tells me no because she's a Delta.
That's whack.
Right.
That's whack. And
What do you mean? She said, well, since we dated and we're no longer together, all Deltas are off limits. So I said, if I move to Houston, right, different chapter, all that, and I fall in love with somebody, and then she's a Delta, I can't be with her. She said, nope. That's Delta code. You can't do it. I was like, what? What if I go to Uganda?
Right.
It's over for you. She's a Delta, so you can't do it.
One person in Uganda that I love her, and I still can't date her either. Like,
nope, it's over for you. You
So
gotta
is
take
there
that L
like
and
a
keep it pushing.
database of all the Delta boyfriends?
You just gotta.
Like a Rolodex?
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? What if let's say for argument's sake, I wasn't honest, right? And I didn't tell that the person I'm dating now that I ever dated a Delta, and we get married, right? She gonna divorce me because I was a Delta boyfriend? Like, well, that stupid code stuff.
So, in my opinion, for Audrey's situation,
sorority. I can't date anybody a Delta.
it's over for you.
That's wild.
So, in my opinion, with Audrey's situation, to be completely honest with you, I don't think you broke the code. If they ain't tight like brothers or whatever, they just happen to know each other. That's whatever. They don't owe each other anything. You don't owe the other person anything either.
Right.
Now, if they were really close, that's a totally different situation.
Right.
Dead wrong for that. But like you said, they just happened to know each other. So it's whatever. That's like me beefing.
They don't even know each other.
Yeah.
They're just in the same sorority.
Yeah, true. Also, whack for you, Dre. I feel for you.
Word, man. There's some pretty Deltas out there too. Delta women are beautiful women.
These are the facts. All facts indeed.
Let me stop. Yeah, but I don't think you broke code either.
No, you didn't.
No.
I think it was kind of a.
His feelings were hurt.
Yeah. He said he noticed there was a change in me, so he realized somebody else was getting my attention, and I think that's what started the wheel going or whatever, whatnot. But the thing is that, like I said, in my opinion, we ain't never broke bread together, all of us. You've never been in our house when we were married. There was no, you know what I mean? It wasn't. No, it wasn't anything on my behalf.
Yeah.
No.
Nope, you good. You all right.
You're
Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
And this was a great episode. I had a lot of fun. I want to start out with the ladies first. We'll start off with you, Marisol. How can we get you on social media? Is she frozen? Marisol?
She freeze?
I think she is frozen. Okay, what a great setup. What a great setup. And all right, so let's go to Audrey. Audrey, how can we get you on social media and all that good stuff?
What I don't even know. Audrey, I think it's Audrey Whitaker Bynum on Facebook. I think it's Audrey Whitaker on Instagram.
Correct. All of that.
All right. Marisol, let's try it again. How can we get you in social media and all that good stuff?
Latina NYC is pretty much how I could be found anywhere. On Facebook, it's Mary Cruz. On Instagram, it's Latina NYC 0.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Let's do the fellas. We're going to start off with you, Alan. How can people get you on social media? And once again, tell us about your Instagram.
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram at Newman_hot takes. It's basically an inspiration and motivational page that I have created. It is geared to not just motivate and provide inspiration, but it's also geared toward clips on why I love our Black women. You can also find me on Facebook at Newman_hot takes as well. Or you can find my regular page at Alan Newman Jr. on Facebook as well.
And I can definitely say that his Instagram account is awesome and it's very positive, uplifting stuff. So definitely check him out. Check him out. All right, Dre, how can we get you in social media? And tell us when's the next vlog? When's the next vlog? And your show.
The next vlog. So my social media, you can hit me up.
I just saw what you said. My bad.
What happened?
I just saw the little preacher comment. I'm not paying you no attention.
It's dope. Audrey's name is dope. Like it sounds like she's, she could preach sermons and
probably.
I know.
Yeah, like she write books and all that. I'll buy it just off the name. So you can hit me up on Instagram at Andre_D_Harrison, on Facebook at theandre.d.harrison, and on Twitter at Andre D. Harrison. And every Thursday, I have a podcast that is live on Get Vocal, YouTube, and Facebook.com. It's the Togetherness podcast where we talk about life, marriage, and relationships with my co-host, Albany L. Riggins. This week's show will be airing 8 o'clock live, so please make sure you guys tune in, send us your questions, and join us in the conversation as well. The next vlog I'm editing now is probably going to be up soon. I'm going to do a Q&A with my sons. So they will be answering questions about me that people on social media are asking my sons to answer.
That'll be good.
So it'll be embarrassing.
Yes, I can't wait to check it out. And also, once again, too, with Dre, his content is amazing and it's very uplifting and, no griminess at all. It's really cool stuff. So big shout out to Dre. And Dead, yes, how can people get you on social media and stuff? And thank you once again too for doing the show. It's first timer. You and Mario.
Absolutely. Well, my phone number is I'm playing. My IG and my Snap. I'm sorry. My IG and my Twitter is dead_no_a dead DED. No. Okay. Cool. So Snapchat is King Dead. I'm not sure if it's King_Dead or just King. It is King_Dead, and Facebook is Dedrick Williams, DEDRICK, last name Williams.
All right, and last but not least, Shannon.
I am on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Shannon Ford, like the president, _Jefferson, like the president. And that's it. You can follow me on any of those. I'm back, but I'll try. I'll do better.
And if you wanted a double dose of Shannon tomorrow, make sure 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, we'll be interviewing sci-fi writer Yvette Kendall a sister who's a very talented writer, and we're going to be chopping it up with her on Get Vocal. So definitely check that out. You can get me at Kente F. Of course, the website is indyradio.org. That's indyradio.org. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Bye. I was like, can you hurry up and get us off live? I was like, I cannot hold this long.
Kente, those don't get any more that long like that no more. Like, what was like, what in the world?
I know.
She had a lot on her mind, man.
I forgot to say I was going to be on Dr. Vibe's show on Wednesday, but well, I'll do that tomorrow.
Yes.
So the triple threat is real. Shannon, 3 days in a row.
3 days in a row.
Nice.
The triple
3 times in a row. Awesome.
Yes. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
What the hell? What happened? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I'm gonna have to read. Shit. Middle East Mike? Is that Mike? And feel free, anybody, jump in. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, that's Mike. You already know he being fancy.
Yeah.
We got to talk about fancy colognes, and he want to switch his whole profile picture up.
Yeah. They got them 1% colognes. They like, man, I have to save up.
Man,
What was that? What was that stuff that was it Beth that was talking about the one that was real expensive?
Her Steph and Mike.
Yeah, I'm like, man.
This Armani, Giorgio Armani. I don't even know how to pronounce this in real life.
I know, right? I'm like, man.
That's how I know I can't afford it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
homage.
Yeah, your brother was awesome.
Yeah, man. He held it down. He did his thing out there. Where'd you get these stories from? That was my original question.